Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host JC, and today we're going to take the mystery out of the BSA Meteor Super 22. That's a 22 caliber brake barrel put out by BSA. Anyway, before we get into this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down in the corner. Doesn't cost you anything, it's absolutely free, but it really helps support the channel, and I would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you want to help the channel, check out my website, www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got t-shirts, I've got hats, got my Generation 2 bipods. We even have the Gammo trigger screw kits for you Gammo fans that have brake barrels with the SAT or CAT trigger. That'll turn that into a match style trigger for an investment of like 10 bucks. So anyway, check that out. Also, I do put some spare inventory on there too. And once it goes, it goes. I'll usually have one-of-a-kind type things and then they're gone. But anyway, let's get back to the subject on hand, which is our BSA Meteor. What's a BSA Meteor? Well, this one happens to be in 22 caliber, and it is a brake barrel. This has a gas piston as opposed to a spring piston. It's 42.5 inches overall. It's got an 18.5 inch barrel, and the gun weighs only 6.3 pounds. So it's nice and lightweight. It also, if you'll see, it's got some nice open sights. It's got the green in the back and the red in the front. And what also this thing has is a 1/2 by 20 UNF. So if you want to put a suppressor on here, you just unscrew this and you can throw a suppressor on there, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty lightweight gun. It's got this beautiful wood stock on it, and it's ambidextrous, but I love the shape of it with the little cutouts here and what have you. It's just very, very, very comfortable. It's got a nice wood stock. It also has a 11 millimeter scope rail. As you can see, I've got it matched up with a BSA scope, BSA rifle, BSA scope. This is one of the Outlook series. I'll leave you guys a link for that. But it also has a manual safe, which is great about this one. You can just flip the safe and leave it off if you want, or you can flip it on, but it's completely manual. It's not automatic. Anyway, this has a really good compact feel to it. It really does. And this was actually a gift from my buddy Kurt out of Maine. This was a Christmas gift. So I finally got around to playing with it and decided let's do a review on it and see how it performs. They claim this will shoot up to 750 feet per second. That depends on what type of pellet obviously you use. So. But it has a really cool compact feel to it. So let's go out, let's test it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's test our BSA Meteor over the chronograph, see what type of velocity we get. We're just going to use 12 grain hobby pellet, shoot 5 shots, we'll average it out, and then I'm going to tell you how it did with one of the more accurate pellets. But let's just do 5 shots, see how we make out. Now, full disclosure, I did tune this rifle. All right, shot number 1, 741. Shot number 2, 742. Shot number 3, 742 again. Shot number 4, 725. And we got one more. 730. Yeah, very low standard deviation. I think we did a pretty good job of tuning that one. So, not overly powerful, but this is a great backyard plinker, as I would say before. But let me tell you how it did with another pellet. So we did the H&N Field Target Trophies. Now this is a 14.66 grain pellet, so it's much heavier than that one. But we still averaged about 680 feet per second, and we still got about 15 foot-pounds of energy out of this. So this is not bad. For as light as cocking effort as this rifle is, yeah, so not bad. So 15 pounds of energy. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out our BSA for some accuracy. We're going to be shooting the H&N field target trophies today. They're a 14.66 grain. They seem to do better in this rifle. Little pellet picky, not horrific. But what I notice is I'll get decent groups, and then I can occasionally get a little flyer coming out. So we'll see what happens when we do this here. Hey, just for something different, we're going to test out these HD targets. These are 6-inch targets. I met these guys at the SHOT Show, and they sent me some targets to test out. So far I'm liking them. But anyway, I'll leave you guys a link below. You can check those out. Anyway, we're our usual break barrel distance. We're 20 yards. Go ahead and check that out real quick. See our fancy HD target there. All right, let's see how well we can make this group. All right. Back to the original group. That's 3, 4, and one more. Not a bad group. As you can see, I had that one flyer on the second shot, but then all the rest of them seem to group down there to the left all together. So, like I said, every once in a while I just get a little flyer out of this, which is strange. Maybe when I get more rounds through it, it'll smooth out, because I do not have very many rounds through this one. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test our BSA out as far as the trigger pull weight goes. Now, I'm going to let you guys know on a little secret, and some people won't disclose this. So you know BSA and Gamo are the same company now. They're using a SAT trigger in this. This is a Gamo SAT trigger. I am 100% certain on that. I even put my trigger screw in it to lighten it up. So I know a video, a guy was demonstrating this rifle, one of the Airgun companies were selling it, and all the parts were come from 100% from the UK. Well, it's not entirely true, because the trigger assembly, which is a Gamo, which is actually made in Spain. So anyway, regardless, it's a good trigger with the trigger screw. And I'm going to show you how light you can set this thing. Alright, so we got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. Watch this pull weight. And I love it because it's got this nice light first stage. See where it stops right there? And then you just give it a little bit of pull and bam, it's gone. So I have that one set at 14.1 ounces. So just under a pound I have this set. So pretty amazing trigger. I mean, I would qualify that as a match grade at that point. But anyway, great trigger. Let's move on to the next segment. Okay, let's do some plinking with our BSA here. For this, we're going to shoot the same one we did for the target shooting. The field target trophies, a 14.66. This one seems to like those the best. Got a little breeze, not bad today. But we're usual plinking distance. This is my little plinking range set up here. Just a hair over 40 yards. Go ahead and check that out real quick. You can see we got a big ram there. We got a chicken. We got an egg. And a shotgun shell there on the end. So we're going to go ahead and knock those out and see how we do. We'll start on the right side. We'll hit the shotgun shell and work our way to the left. All right. This rifle is so light. Okay, shotgun shell first. Oh, gotta love it. Now, a little egg. This rifle is so light. All right. It's got some really decent accuracy. It really does. I like it. What do we got next? Chicken? Gotta like it. And take the ram out. Last but not least. Gotta like it. Yeah, this, I'm telling you, light rifle, good looking rifle. Pretty doggone accurate out to 40 yards here. Anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. How do you guys think the BSA did? I thought, personally, did pretty good. It did pretty good. So, like anything else, let's talk about negatives first. Okay, my first negative initially was the trigger, right? But it's an easy fix for 10 bucks, okay? This has, as I mentioned during the trigger test, this has a Gamosat trigger in it, 100% Gamosat trigger, and it took the trigger screw. So for 10 bucks, we turned it into a match style trigger. So at the same time it was a negative, it's actually a positive because the trigger is just absolutely awesome. Yeah, I think we had it break in the trigger test like at 14 ounces. I mean, just sensational, absolutely. The other negative, this rifle is extremely pellet picky. It took me a while to find a pellet that actually grouped quite well in it. The lighter, the 11.9 grain, the RWS, those are what we chronoed it in. They're okay, but they spread out pretty good. The tightest groups were coming out of the field target trophies, the H&N, the 14.66. So once you kind of figured that out, it worked actually pretty well. This actually shot really nice. So let's talk about the positives. The positives. The stock is awesome. I like the ambidextrous stock. Either you're right or left-handed, it's identical on both sides. I love the fact it's got a manual safe on it. So every time you're firing it, you're not having to flip a safety off. I really do like that. The trigger turned out awesome, so I'm going to say I got to like the trigger. I like the fact that this is backyard friendly. It's not overly loud at all. Probably being the 22 caliber, it's not shooting at a real high velocity. But you still have the option of the half by UNF thread here. So if you wanted to put a suppressor on it, you could actually put that suppressor on there. I do like the open sights. It's got the fiber optic. I like the way this rifle shoulders. It just, oh my God, it feels really good. It's kind of got a little compact feel to it, but it's very nice going up to the shoulder. And again, I really like the wood stock. This really looks nice. Also, I did get up to about 15 foot-pounds of energy on this. Now, full disclosure, I ended up tuning this. I took it apart because it was really easy to tune. I took this apart, went through it and tuned it, and I gained probably about 25 feet per second just by doing that little tune. So overall, you know, pretty good rifle. The accuracy was not bad, and you saw it in the plinking. We were knocking stuff out at 40 yards, so it actually did quite well. It really did overall. So to be honest with you guys, this was a gift from my buddy Kurt, and I liked it so much. There was a super duper sale at one of the Airgun online stores. So I purchased a second one. Yes, a second one. Hold on. I figured Lucy could have a matching one. So I have identical scopes. I set the triggers up exactly the same, and they're both tuned. So they're both perfectly tuned. So they're 100% identical. Now, if Lucy doesn't really want this, it's going to end up on my website. One of you guys are going to be lucky enough to get it, because I don't think they're selling these in the US anymore. But anyway, the funny thing is I shot them side by side at targets, and they shoot exactly the same. No different. They both like the same pellets. They're exactly the same. That was kind of funny, actually. So anyway, overall, how would I rate the gun? Because they're kind of pellet picky. I'm going to, let's go with 4.5 stars. We're going to go with 4.5 stars because it's kind of pellet picky. You saw I got that occasional little flyer. Even when we were doing our accuracy test, I had one of them that just had a little flyer. Now that might go away in time. Like I said, I'm lucky if there's 250, 300 rounds through this. So maybe in time it'll smooth out just a little bit more. But anyway, with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun. Until next time, I hope you and your families are getting lots of shooting in. So take care, and God bless.